Okay, now let's talk about type number 2, which are the ratio problems. The important factor about working with ratio problems is that you must make sure that your numerator on both fractions are the same. So if this is A, this would have to be B. This is A, this would have to be B. That's really important with ratio problems. Let's take a look at problem number 10. If you look at problem number 10, they're talking about muffins and cookies. So I'm going to have my muffins will be my numerator, and in the denominator I'll put cookies. And with ratio problems, we will still have muffins in the numerator and cookies in the denominator. Now if you take a look at the problem, they talk about a ratio of the numbers that are sold, which are 16 to 13. So 16, 2, and that's read as 2, 13. That means for every 16 muffins, 13 cookies were sold. So now let's just set up our ratio. First we have 16 over 13 equals to something with muffins and cookies. If you take a look at that problem, they actually said that there were a total of 145 cookies sold altogether. So why don't we do this? Let's let X equal the number of muffins. Okay? So I'm going to put X here. Now I need to come up with how many cookies were sold. Well, if I had a total of 145 cookies altogether, X of those were muffins, then if I subtract the total number of muffins from the total number of muffins and cookies, I would actually end up with cookies. So this denominator would have to be 145 minus X. Now you have your ratio set up. So now what I'm going to do, and you can do this with ratio problems, you can cross multiply. So that's exactly what I'm going to do with this problem. I can now just cross multiply. So what I would end up with is 13x equal to 16 times 145 minus x. Okay, when you do that, let's get rid of our parentheses. 13x, which is equal to 2,320 minus 16x. I distribute it with everything inside. Now let's collect our like terms together. Here what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 16x to both sides. So I end up here with a total of, what's that, 29x, which is equal to 200 altogether. Okay, so now what am I going to do? I'm going to divide both sides by 29, and when you do that, you end up with x is equal to, and you could take your calculator and come up exactly with how many x's, which means how many muffins do you actually have altogether.